Direction Podcast. Check it out.
Everyday new experience.
Life is magical. Welcome to Direction Podcast. I am Rahul Solanki, and this podcast is all about the ways, journey, experience, and how we use those experience, how we use magic of universe in our daily life. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today we have got a new friend, Arouba Kabir. She is a founder of Enso Wellness, a place for physical and mental health. She is graduate in counseling psychology from Bangalore University. She is also certified in cognitive behavior therapy. So tell us about your journey, how you started this journey of mental health therapist, and before having this specialization, before having this knowledge of mental health, what was your thought about it, and what intrigued you about mental health?
To be honest, I did not know. It was not a dream that I have to become a, counselor or mental health therapist and have my business. But one thing was very clear from my childhood. I wanted to become a doctor, and I was very much. I was a good studious kid, almost topper, and I loved it. And all my family and friends and everybody knew that she'll be a doctor someday. But yes, I couldn't crack my medical entrance. And then I had gone to take admission in one of the colleges in Karnataka for MBBS, where I was counseled, and career counseling was a very new thing, a professional counseling. And they talked to me and they said, you know what, this is what MBBS brings to you, that you have to study for long hours, and this is what your life is going to be, and you will not be able to do other curricular things and all that. You will not have much time left to you, and you seem to be someone who loves to talk to people and who has a good, you know, impression on people. Why don't you try journalism? I was like, okay, is journalism a career? Can I study journalism? So Barkhadat was quite famous. Kargil war was on. She had shot here, I had shot here. So I was like, oh wow, okay, I can get to travel, and traveling has been my, it's like been the childhood dream. I want to travel everywhere. I want to see different creations of the universe, and I want to see the nature, and I want to see different things. So I was like, wow, if I become a journalist, I am going to travel the whole world. I'm going to meet different people. I'm going to have rich experience. Yes, why not? So yeah, I went to the college and I said, okay, I'm going to study journalism. And they told me, okay, with journalism, what do you want to study? I was like, I am somebody who loves to be a woman. I want to study women studies, psychology, and journalism. So yeah, that's how it started. I started studying journalism, women studies, and psychology, and I graduated. I did take part in n number of activities. I was a good student. I was like working around. I was doing vocational jobs. I have done part-time jobs in my college. It was an amazing experience, and I graduated, and I worked with a couple of channels, newspapers. I worked with DD National. I worked with NewsX. I worked with back then Star News, which is now ABP News. So I worked with couple of at couple of places as an intern, as a freelancer, stringer, reporter, and all that happened. But at the same time, I had health issues since my childhood, and because of the health issues, I always had to take time off. I had to do extra effort, and that had built a lot of anger, resentment, sadness somewhere inside of me, which had made me passive aggressive. I wouldn't express my anger, but I would cut off myself from people. I wouldn't stand for myself the way I should be, but at the same time, I would self harm to a level that I tried to kill myself 3 times. So it was during the graduation, my psychology teacher helped me understand my behavior. Kind of, she counseled me, provided me therapy. She gave me replacements. If you get angry, when you do this, you will not become passive aggressive. The anger will be released. She taught me many ways to deal with it. And when I was working as a journalist and I had a good job, a boyfriend, career, everything is going well. But I was unwell still. My diagnosis was not there. And I did not know what do I suffer from. That was a frustration. Second, there was a lot of responsibility from work. There was no personal time. It was too hectic because, after all, I was a junior person. Everybody would give me work. Sometimes the shift would go for 24 hours, 36 hours. And my immunity went down because I couldn't take care of myself. I was staying away from my family. And I felt sick. I felt so sick that I had to get hospitalized for 2 months. And there I got the diagnosis that I suffer from a medical condition which is called cystic fibrosis, which is a genetic medical condition. And not many people make up to my age. They die before that. And the life expectancy is 27, and I was 21. That changed everything because I was put on steroids. I was put on medicines, antibiotics, high doses of medicines, and I almost did not have any life. I put on weight, my relationship went off, broke up, my job was gone, I was home, I was asked not to go out, I was very prone to infections. And now the best thing out of all this is now I know what do I have. So it was like I have to take care of it. But how do a sad person, a depressed person take care of it? All I would do is wake up, cry, eat, watch TV, sleep. Wake up, cry, watch TV, sleep. This was the routine for 4 months. And I had cut off from everybody. I was ashamed of talking about my illness. And now I could understand the frustration which was there from my childhood. Why was it? Why was I not like other people? Why was I not healthy? Why did I have to go to hospital so many times? And why weren't people understanding it? So all that came out, and then one day I was like, but I'm blessed with amazing family and friends, beautiful people in my life. They were quite encouraging. They were like, okay, it's fine. You don't have a job. You cannot go to work. You cannot have a hectic life schedule. But what do you want to do? Do you want to do something? And as I said, life expectancy was 27. I was 21, 6 years to live. I knew that death can come anytime. Not that I was scared of death, but I just didn't want to die like that. I guess nobody wants to die like that. So I was like, okay,
True.
fine. Even if I want to die, I don't want to die like this. What do I want to do? I want to travel. So that traveling, which was from the childhood there, and that gave me a motivation. But to travel, I need to have physical strength. To physical strength, ke liye, I need to have emotional strength. I started looking out for therapies. I started going to a counselor because I was put on antidepressants and psychology, psychiatry medicines make you feel dull and you're like a zombie if you're not taking the therapy at the same time. And I wasn't taking the therapy, so I spoke to my psychiatrist. I said I want to start therapy, tell me where to go. So he sent me to a counselor, but the counselor was not much of a help because her approach of working with me was only giving me an advice, listening to me and giving me an advice. And that 1 hour will be, I'll feel at the top of the world. But I wouldn't know after what do I do after that 1 hour? Where is it going? What do I do when I go home? She used to ask me, exercise. But what a form of exercise? She used to ask me have a good diet, but I did not know any good dietitian. And if I was having random diets, I was not feeling better. So I wanted to have a better approach. And I was like, okay, let me figure it out. And I started traveling. I started going to different places. I went for yoga. I went to Art of Living. I went to Osho. I went to Rajyoga meditation. First, they say when you cannot sort out anything, you turn to religion. You turn to God. You're like, okay, tum hi karo sab kuch. I did that. I first became religious. Becoming religious didn't help me. I became spiritual. Becoming spiritual actually did help me. It opened ways for me. I was receptive to people now. I was receptive to therapies. And when I did my yoga and meditations, that was the first certifications. First, it was just to help myself, but then it was like, how long can I keep going to the teacher? I need to understand the basics of it. And as I said, I wanted to become a doctor. I was a very good bio student. I had the human anatomy knowledge. So with yoga, I did a diploma in physiotherapy and meditation. That was the first thing of it. And that gave me strength to travel around the world. And I traveled to different parts of India first, and then I started traveling out of India. And I started interning with psychologists because I had a psychology background. I started interning. I started taking different therapies, learning different therapies, and I applied for my MA. So that's how it all started. So if I tell you that I wanted to have it as a career, no, I did not want to have it as a career. I wanted to save myself. And in that process, when I was feeling better, when I was feeling back on my feet, when I was like loving my life, when I had accepted everything, I realized that I need to have bread and butter. I need to have a financial independence. And when that thing came that I need to have a financial independence as well, I was like, what career should I choose? And I was very good at therapy. The therapist I had worked with, the psychologist I had interned with, the psychiatry setups I had worked at, everybody said, you are a good therapist. You have healing in you. So I was like, okay, I don't want to become a healer. I want to become a therapist. So that's how it started.
So you're a
Yes.
Kashmiri.
Yes.
So when you shifted or migrated from Kashmir to like plain areas to Delhi or somewhere, and was that was that something which like created a kind of separation, like from your Kashmiri culture to the normal? Have you faced any kind of challenges while you migrated?
Okay. So, number one, as I said, I'm in 87 born. I was born in Kashmir. My whole family was in Kashmir.
Yeah.
And we migrated in 92, 93. So I was just a baby. I was 4 or 5 years old when we migrated
Okay.
from Kashmir.
Okay.
And my father was in politics. And during those times when the militancy, when the terrorism came to Kashmir, they were very clear. People who are working with the Indian governments, they'll be killed. And it was irrespective of the religion. It was not you're a Muslim or a Hindu. It was like you work for India, we kill you. And my father was kidnapped by militants 3 times. He was attacked 11 times, but out of 11 times, he was kidnapped 3 times. But third time, it was quite he was kept for 3 days. He was tortured. They thought he's dead. They left him, but he wasn't dead. That was the time when we realized that it is not safe to stay in Kashmir. And we took a move and we shifted initially from one place of Kashmir to another place. Now, my father, we are Pathans, and my father being the senior leader with a political party, and he was quite young, I guess 13 or 14 years old when he joined politics. So he had a good name for himself in the valley. So he was kind of a leader, and being a leader, he had all the resources available to him in his place, a big house, people working for him, farms, everything around. But when we left, we were given one bedroom for 10 member of 10 family members, and we were put in one bedroom which had a tiny kitchen and a bathroom, and that happened for 1 year. But my mother is a very, very strong woman and a very positive woman. I guess whatever positive qualities I have acquired, it is from her. She didn't let us feel that we don't have those resources available which were there before. She made it sound like, okay, it's okay. 1 room or 10 rooms is absolutely okay. It's about the family. It's about how we live it. There have been days when we didn't have food to eat, and she just made us have rice, milk, and salt. And we ate it happily because it was family. We were together, we were alive. But after 6 months, NC started getting back, and they said, okay, we are going to contest elections. Not many people were contesting elections. In 95, 96 elections happened. My father again went back to politics. We had shifted to Jammu by then. Jammu was safer. We were still in a government accommodation, and it was a complete culture shift. My mother didn't know how to speak Hindi. She spoke Persian because in Kashmir, people have a hold on Farsi, Persian. She spoke Persian, she spoke Kashmiri. My father spoke Pashto because we have Afghanistan roots, like father's forefathers were from there. So he could speak Pakhtu, he could speak Urdu, he could speak Kashmiri. But we had no idea what is a paratha or what is a puri. We had no idea what is Hindi.
Yeah.
My mother had to learn everything from the basic, and we had to, they had to keep teacher for us to teach us Hindi. And my mother made it compulsory for us to talk in Hindi at home, because otherwise children will make fun of our accent out in the school.
True.
It was like, she did every possible thing, and in that somewhere we lost the touch with the Kashmiri culture. We lost that touch with food, we lost that touch with language. Like my younger brother and sister, they don't speak Kashmiri. They can understand it, but they don't speak. Now they are learning, and in fact I also learned in my graduation speaking Kashmiri. I could only understand, but I couldn't speak back. So when I finished my graduation, when I went back to the valley to work, that was the time I learned Kashmiri. So if you say that it was easy, no, it was not. But if you say that it was impossible, no, it was not. It was possible, and my mother and father, they gave their best to teach us. And I guess when my father again came into politics, everything was back, cars were back, security was back. But until 12th standard, I had never traveled in a local transportation. I had always gone out with bodyguards in a car because it was not safe. We used to travel to Kashmir for vacations. We had limited access to local life. And then my father, he wanted us to go out, get exposed, talk to people, learn things. And in our family, we were the like, my father is the eldest and my mother is also eldest. So we were the eldest of the kids. So we were the first to step out of our comfort zone. And we have changed good many schools. We used to change school every after year or two. One, because of the security reason, you could not be in a particular school for longer years. People will get to know you can be attacked. Second, every time my father would hear about a good school, that this school is good, he would say, okay, ma'am, I'm going to send my kids there. He wanted us to have, because he knew that we have lost our basics, but at
Hmm.
least wherever they are now, they should be having what they need now, the resources. So again, Jammu is a small city. We didn't speak English, we didn't know about brands, we didn't have computer access, we didn't have mobile phones, but it was still a good life because we were together, we were alive, we were safe. Whereas people in Kashmir have gone through traumas, PTSD. At least we were safe, we were alive. That was important. So when I was in Bangalore, I used to miss on my bus. I used to miss on my food because I didn't know how to stand in a queue and take food.
Okay.
And again, I was blessed with people. I got my roommates from Northeast, and they were master students. And they taught me how to do that. They taught me how to stand in a queue and fight for your food, how to get into the bus first. And people did find it very difficult to understand where did I come from. Still, like when I go somewhere, I don't like buffet system. I'm like, how can you just stand and take food? Because Kashmiri culture is we serve food right in front of you, number one. But number two, I had never gone out in the local life as a child. So as a child, I didn't have experience. So you learn things mostly as a child. So I now do it. It's not that I don't do it. I do everything. But I have to put in conscious effort in it. It doesn't come subconsciously. It doesn't come in my behavior. I if I have to go somewhere, my first thought doesn't go to local transport. My first thought goes to my private transport. And people, in fact, my relationships found it very hard. They were like, "You are not a princess." I was like, "I know I'm not a princess, but this is how I have lived." So yes, it was very difficult, but
True.
as I said, not impossible. Have learned it, and I guess different parts of India are also beautiful. My parents, after many years, now my father's a retired politician. They went back to the valley, though they live in a government accommodation because living privately is not safe there. And it is again, once again, a tiny house there where they are living. But they are happy because my father says we are in the old age now and things are not safe. If we pass away in a different state in Jammu or somewhere, we don't want to lose our burial place, Kabristan. We want to get buried with our relatives. and they live in Kashmir now. But we, brothers, sisters, we found different parts of India as our homes, and we're quite happy with it. It is not that Kashmir is inaccessible to us, but because of the situation over there, we don't travel there much. And I guess wherever we are, home is there. I found my home in Gurgaon. I love the city. Roads are bigger. I can see the sky. Still, there are patches of green around. So I guess yeah,
Hmm.
it's absolutely okay.
Now, myth time. There is one myth which is which we will segue from there that myth to the process. So, myth is I can't do anything for a person with a mental health problem. So, segue from this myth to the question is how our society or our surrounding, like suppose if one person is suffering with mental health, how his or her parents, how his or her friends needs to handle that situation, handle or work, communicate in a way that the one who is suffering with mental health will feel relaxed, will feel ease.
Okay. So first of all, we really have to understand there's this myth that if you have a mental health condition, you cannot have a normal functioning of life. Now, to be honest, we all have mental health difficulties. We all have emotional health difficulties because that comes from a childhood. We are not taught how to talk about emotions or take care of emotions. We are taught how to brush our teeth, how to have food, how to dress well, how to talk to elders, how to grade well at school. But we are not taught how to feel, how to express your feelings. So we all, irrespective of our backgrounds, families, how supportive, not supportive, we all have our challenges. So we are functioning well still. It just becomes a problem when a person gets diagnosed. There's a stigma then. Oh, the person is suffering from anxiety. I don't want to be with an anxious person. And there are grades to everything. It's like you have a diabetes. What kind of diabetes do you have? Are you on insulin or are you on a pill? And when you can take care of diabetes, what is needed in diabetes? Good walk, good food, good food, regular exercise, good sleep, that is, and medicine that is needed for diabetes. When you are not stigmatizing it, when you are not thinking it is something bad to be with a diabetic person, why do you think it is bad to be with an anxiety person? An anxious person can still take good calls. They might take time, but they take good calls, and it is completely curable. It will be gone away if they take care of it. They find the root cause. So first of all, we need to understand that physical, mental health is as normal as physical health. There is no difference in it. You have a physical health problem, you have a mental health problem, but it's only that mental health problems cannot be seen. There are no reports. And physical health, may you have the reports. So first, normalize it. Talk about it in a normal way. This is the reason I have used. So when I say ask people, when people ask me to introduce myself, I say I'm a mental health therapist because I want to normalize this word mental health. I don't want to keep it behind the curtains. I don't want to make big things out of it. It is just health. No physicians say I'm a physician. They don't say I'm a doctor. They say I'm a physician. It should be I'm a mental health professional. So I use the word to normalize it. Second, what we can do if there is someone who is going through this difficult time, we can be kind to them. As I said, we all have struggles. You have one struggle, you have an insecurity about something, I have insecurity about something. But after all, we are human beings and their emotions are absolutely normal. Now, it depends on a lot of things what kind of family, what kind of school, what kind of society, what kind of community have you brought up into. That decides a lot how are you going to be as a person. But we don't have any right to judge anyone. If I don't agree with you, I should walk away. There has to be a respect of accepting people how they are, rather than changing them according to you. If I believe in God, you should believe in God. Why? Just because your grandparents told you being religious is good? Maybe my grandparents didn't tell me that. So we need to have that acceptance. And I always tell people you will have better relations when you accept, respect, and value another person, irrespective of their issue, irrespective of their difficulty. When you accept them, that they can be unique, because your mind is different, their mind is different. Brain is a complex, a part of our body. I don't know what kind of hormones are releasing in your body when I'm talking to you. And you don't know what kind of hormones are releasing in my body when I'm talking to you. So it is completely different. We can't see that. So that
True.
acceptance that okay, I can be
True.
unique, they can be unique. Second, having that respect that okay, if I don't agree with them, I'll walk away. If I don't want them in my life, I will tell them politely, be polite. And then value it. Value what you have in life. So when we do that, we will understand and accept each other's illnesses, be it physical or mental. That is how
Yeah.
we can. Now, another thing comes that how can we support them? You can support them by listening. Don't do anything else. Don't give your advice. They are not seeking your advice.
People with mental health problems are violent and unpredictable.
I recently wrote a piece for Financial Express on schizophrenia.
Hmm.
The same myths for that schizophrenic are violent. As I said, it depends on the grade of the condition. What is your grade? If it is gone beyond a counseling point, then you need drugs. There's bipolar disorder, mental health condition in which there are mood swings. Either you get very depressed or you get very angry, mania or depression. But then there are bipolar disorder people I have seen in my own life. I have friends, I have clients. They have bipolar disorder, but they have never had a violent episode in their life. They've never thrown anything around. But then I see people who do not have bipolar disorder, they throw things around. It has got nothing to do with that. It is like, what grade is it? Where is your condition? So you need to understand all these things. Not every medical condition. Some schizophrenic people become very silent. There's a condition called catatonia, catatonic. People just freeze. They don't move. They don't do anything. Some people in medical mental health conditions become very submissive. They don't know what to do in their life. So it is all a myth. It is nothing is there. It all depends on care. Some people have blood pressure, and when there is high blood pressure, they get more angry, more angry, more angry, and the BP also goes up. So, but some people have BP and they get headaches and they don't want to talk. So different for different person.
True.
So it is again a myth.
Hmm. So that's pretty much the discussion all about, and I will tag your your detail of your website. I will add your account, Instagram account handle in our description, in our podcast description, and I will add more detail about coming workshops. And fe- I would like to have more discussion on different programs you offer in future, and I would like to attend also one of the programs, and needs to experience on a personal level how it really works.
Wonderful. You're most welcome. Please do that.
Awesome. Thank you so much for the time. I hope you had fun. I really enjoyed your thought, your experience, and the journey you have done.
It was a
And
lovely conversation, Rahul.
yeah,
Thank you so much for having me.
thank you.